Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everyone had a great week. I hope you're having a great weekend wherever you are. Soon we will be into spring. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to see some pretty trees and flowers and green grass and all of those things, because right now all I see are trees that are still bare. It still looks a lot like winter. It really does. So I'm ready for some springtime weather. I'm ready for outdoors and backyard barbecues. Well, you know, hopefully if we can get the this virus under control, so we can do those things, so we can get back to just a little normalcy, because we all need that. So, but today, let's get to this show. All right. So the title of today's show is All Dressed Up with No Place to Go. And the topic is dealing with book rejections and shelved projects. So don't you hate it when you make big plans and you get all dressed up for them, and then at the last minute, they get canceled? Well, I don't know about you, but I sure do. Now, imagine it's your book. A book you've spent months pouring your heart into, perfecting every detail, packaged and ready for submission, only to receive a rejection once you do submit it. It seems unfair because you know your work is at its tip-top best. And how dare any publisher deny you access to have your book showcased as the work of art it truly is? Well, more than what we realize is a widespread occurrence. So don't feel like the Lone Ranger in situations like this. But do join the thousands of authors every year whose work doesn't quite make the cut. And it's not due to anything, well, it's probably due to a lot of things, but mostly it's due to something that we're going to talk about here in just a little bit, okay? Because I know that this is it's a bit discouraging, or it could be, but don't let it scare you either, okay? Because most authors realize they are one of many who have written a book or many books with the knowledge and acceptance they won't be traditionally published. And trust me when I tell you that book rejections are not the end of the world or your writing career. Unless, you just say, okay, that's it. I'm folding. That's it. I'm not going no further than this. I got rejected and I can't handle it. Okay. So if you're that person, well, okay. So you can just go ahead and step away and not listen to the rest of the show. All right. Okay. But for those of you who are with me, let's get into it. All right. So it's one of those awful realities we learn to make our peace with and also live with. Not because, you're unworthy, but because it wasn't your time to shine. Okay, so you have to remember that. Everyone has a specific time in their life where things just go absolutely right for them. And then there are times in your life where everything goes the complete opposite. But that's okay, because everyone has their moment. So maybe that wasn't your moment, but trust and believe your moment will come, okay? If you don't give up too easily, you have to work at it. You have to stay with it. That's anything in life worth having. You have to stay with it. You got to work hard to maintain it and to get there. And once you do, then there you go. You've made it, okay? So when you think of all the most famous authors worldwide, I'm sure they all have a story to tell. And it's not about the book they've written either, but it's about the journey it took to get to where they are now. I've done shows where I've talked about the number of times some of the best-selling authors of today, how many times their work was submitted and how many times it was rejected. After you get rejected like the first 10 times, it's like, okay, that's it. I'm not doing this no more because, what's the point? But for those authors who persevere, they don't give up. Okay, well, I'm going to send it in to 10 more publishers, and all 10 of those publishers can reject my work. But guess what? I'm going to send it out again to 10 more publishers. And if they reject it, I'm going to keep submitting it, changing what they say maybe needs to, to strengthen the story or whatever, changing things that they suggest. If you get a publisher that's willing to do that and not just, chunk your work in a garbage can somewhere and then you never hear from them again, yay or nay, was it good, bad, or whatever, but for those publishers, kudos to those publishers who actually make notes on your work, because I'm telling you, they noticed, they read it, they noticed, and it was like, okay, this is some good work, but it could be better. So they give you those little messages. They leave those little messages, and when they send you the letter, the rejection letter, they tell you, where your weaknesses. Some will tell you where your weaknesses are, where the editors will that work for that publishing company that your work is submitted to. They will point out, where you need to change things, and where you need to strengthen things. So, pay attention to those details if you're one of the lucky authors who get feedback on the work that you've submitted. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And, and if you want to publish traditionally, there is nothing wrong with that, but just be prepared for rejections because that's a part of it. Okay. All right. Because only 1 to 2% of authors get published. Okay. And that's every year, which means only 1 or 2 manuscripts out of hundreds of submitted work gets chosen. Now, that doesn't sound so encouraging, but when you consider that only 0.025% of authors are successful anyway, well, that can undoubtedly cramp one's style. But don't despair or shelve your projects, because at this point, it does sound hopeless, but it's not. Truly, it is not. Because these statistics apply to traditionally published authors and not independent authors. Okay. For some odd reason, when they calculate the statistics of published authors, independent authors, in their opinion, are not worth their salt and excluded for whatever reason. Well, I guess there's bias in every profession, but this country was founded on independence, which proves we are separate but still equal, and that applies to the publishing world also. All right. So just remember that you always have options. If you've submitted your work traditionally and you're tired of getting rejected, then go another route. Okay. Go the independent route, because you can go the independent route. You can publish a book independently and still be successful, because there are so many independent authors out there who have podcasts. You see them all over social media, but of course, once they become successful, then, they want to give you webinars or seminars, but they also want you to pay for it. So I'm like, okay, well, if you want to truly help someone, then you want to give a webinar or seminar, make it free. Okay. You don't have to charge authors who are out here, wanting to know what the secret is, if there is, quote unquote, a secret to becoming published, or if it's just your time to shine, just like what I said before. But still, if you've made it, reach a hand back and help someone else make it as well. Give them advice, give it to them for free, and there are a lot of self-published authors who do that. They tell you, they give you information free. All you have to do is go to either their blog or you go to their website, and they do they do newsletters and things like that they will send to you, either on the weekly or monthly basis. That has all types of suggestions in there, all types of ideas and plans, and how you can become a better writer, how you can get published, and all of these things. So, I've never been one to subscribe to, books that are out there to tell you, how to become a bestseller, because basically the person that wrote that book, they're the bestseller because, they suckered you into buying this book, for you to follow a format that doesn't work for every single person, But still, they're getting rich off of selling these books or from selling these books. And, because it's a get rich scheme, they may not see it as that, but it's like, oh, wow, I made it. So now I'm going to tell you the secret and you can make it too. But all you have to do is buy my book, because everything you need to know is in that book. And that's not true. It's really not true. If you talk to or listen to a lot of the podcasts and blogs and read the newsletters and things like that, you'll have a great many authors, self-published or traditionally published, and they would tell you that that their secret to success is really not a secret. It's that they worked hard. They listened to, the editors that gave them notes and pointers on their work, how to make it better. And that's what it is. And the truth of the matter is, if you're a writer, you're a writer. Okay. If you write and that, that you haven't done anything to make this work stand out, then it's not going far. Okay, it's like trying to shoot a free throw and you miss every single one of them, and you don't want to do that, because if you are truly passionate about what you do, then you're going to put your heart and soul into it. And that means that it's going to be as close to perfect as you can get it, because, that has you all over it. Everything you are is in that story, whether the story is about you or, about the fictional characters that you write about. Still, you want to make sure that your work stands out, that it outshines everything else that's out there. So that means everything has to be tight, from the book cover, the front book cover, to that back flap, and everything in between has to be right. That means you have to make sure that it has been edited properly, and just because people are editors, just because editors, this is what they do for a living, they're still human. So they make mistakes. So that means you can't just run through every single thing, that they say need changing. But you need to read it and make sure that what you're trying to get across, the message that you're trying to get across, is still there and not been edited out simply because, maybe the subject didn't go with the predicate or the adjective or adverb, for whatever reason. You want to make sure that your work is what you're presenting it to be. Yes, of course, you need to listen to the editors, because they have been doing this for, quite some time, so they know. But still, trust your own instinct as well. And this goes double for self-published or independent authors, because I've seen a lot of work out there, read a lot of books that were self-published and they weren't edited properly. And I don't know if it's because the books were self-edited or what, But, the story was good. The stories was good. There's no denying that, but it could have been a whole lot better, had it been edited properly, because that sort of takes away from the story. And it sort of, says something about the author that, that maybe they were in a rush to get it out there, or maybe, this is just what they do. They present sloppy work and want people to buy it and accept it. And it shouldn't be like that, because if you're going to sell something, it's like buying a house. If you read the description of everything that's supposed to come with that house, and it's supposed to be in tip-top shape, well, once you buy it and get in there and discover that the roof leaks, or the foundation is crumbling, or the plumbing is bad, those are things that should have been disclosed at the beginning. So think of your work that way. Whatever is in that description, whatever you present your work as being, it should be that and more. It shouldn't be any surprises in there, that when the when the reader buys the book, and it's like, well, dang, that's not what they said, that's not what I got. They sold me a lemon. So we don't want that. So we want to take pride in what we do because it's important. It's a reflection on us and of us. When we put forth our best efforts in everything that we do, and it should carry across your entire life. It should be that way. So, practice good habits. Make sure that that you're doing everything that you need to do. So that way, the next time that you're all dressed up with no place to go, don't cancel your plans. Simply adjust them. All right. So that's all we have for today. And I want to make sure before I let you go that I give you these URLs because I want you to continue to listening to Book Chat. I appreciate you so very much for the downloads every single week. You don't know how that makes me feel when I get those statistics. It just makes me feel like that what I am doing is so worthy. And I appreciate you so much, all of the listeners out there that listen to my show. Don't just download and listen. Please like it and share it because that means a lot to me as well. I've worked at this for a while and I'm trying to perfect it. I know that nothing is 100% perfect, but I want to get across to you, what I feel is acceptable and not just, get by the skin of my teeth. I want it to be 100% acceptable. So anyway, the first URL is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. You can follow me on all social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And Instagram is by invitation only. And also, you can go to my website. That is at https://author.ehshepherd.com or either author.vivianmoore.com. And you can check out my blog. That is at https://vivianemore.blogspot.com. And if you missed today's live show, you can always listen to the recorded episodes either on Spreaker. You can listen to it on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, SoundCloud, GileSavin, iTunes, Audible.com, Verbal, that's VURBL, and Luminary. Okay, and there may be some more platforms out there that I've yet to discover, and once I do, I will share them with you. Because every single one that carries my show, I want to make sure that if you have access to it, that you can listen to it across all channels. Okay, all right. Well, tomorrow is worship day. Every day should be, but of course on Sunday. Don't forget if you're still at home having church services at home. Don't forget to invite your neighbors and your family members and friends to listen in, whether those are live broadcasts over social media, if you're doing it over the phone, or if you are in the brick and mortar church house. Just make sure that you're practicing social distancing because that's still important. We may be getting on the upper side of this virus, but we still have to be careful. Even though we're getting those injections and things of that nature, we still need to be careful, until this thing has been eradicated or either so low on the scale to where, you don't even know it exists anymore. But we want to be careful. And also we want to tell those around us how much we care about them. Show how much we care about them. So, be sure to tell people that you love them because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.